has not spoken to me since because she got scared in one section. And so I wanted to remind everybody, I'm thrilled there are so many kids here with their parents, and I wanted to just tell the parents, remind you of one little thing that happens in the movie that some of you may have forgotten about, or if you've never seen the movie, you don't know. So I want to just, this is for parents with kids here, I just want to give you a little disclaimer and say, without spoiling the movie for anybody, and this is in all seriousness, there's a sequence in the movie where there's a lady truck driver. If you're a kid and you hear the audience laughing at this, you maybe can know that that means that it's not really as scary as I'm making it sound. But it's scary enough that it could give you a scary dream. So, I would like to ask parents, if you are on the fence at all, or dubious in any way that your child might be frightened by this moment in the film, and it's just a moment, it's a very quick thing, then I'm going to tell you when it happens, and so that you could either cover their eyes, or you can run out of the theater for a minute and come back. And I'm really serious. I don't want anybody to be scarred like I was scarred seeing all the Disney movies when I was a kid. For real. And evidently I only know this little tiny bit from my personal experience, but this one moment in my film is sort of up there on that same, I wouldn't say it's as scary as the Wicked Witch or the Evil Stepmother by any means, but it's up there, it's in that same category. So when the truck driver starts to tell her story to me in the truck, that's when it's going to happen, okay? So at the end of that little sequence, and it's a brief little sequence, she's going to say, and it looked like this, and that's when you want to cover your eyes, okay? I'm glad everyone thinks it's funny, but you won't think it's funny. Like if you're under 10, I think you're going to be scared by this, and I don't want you to be scared, because the rest of the movie's not scary at all. So I hope you enjoyed the movie. Thank you so much for coming, and I'll talk to you afterwards. Before I forget, I'm going to Sturgis, South Dakota, to the bike rally in August, the first week of August. It's the largest motorcycle rally in the world. This is the 70th anniversary this year, and they're expecting between 600,000 and 700,000 bikers at Sturgis, South Dakota. I think you can find out the information on this, in case you're a bike aficionado and want to go, on peewee.com, and there's and maybe my Facebook page might have it. I was told to plug my Facebook and Twitter pages today. So now it's over with, I got that done. But there is a lot of cool stuff on peewee.com, including this stuff about this biker rally, and we're going to try to recreate the scene from the biker bar. There's a contest already in place. We have, I think, 400 applications so far of people who want to be in it, and who will be in Sturgis. And we're going to try to pull off the world's largest tequila dance there, and try to get in the Guinness Book of World Records. But I digress. I think
wasn't there going to be a Pee-wee? Have any ideas for another Pee-wee movie?
Another Pee-wee movie. How fascinating. Thank you, Dad. I do, as a matter of fact. I've been sort of... Thank you. You are too kind, really. Honestly, this is really nice. I've been saying this for over a year now, and every piece of publicity I have done so far for my stage show, that when people ask me, why are you doing this, it's because I want to make another movie. And the only way I could figure out how to do that and sort of put, as we like to say in show business, some heat on Pee Wee Herman again, was to do the stage show. So a lot of amazing stuff happened out of that, even before we're getting ready to, we're going to open on Broadway October 26th. And it's a very limited run. I think it's 6 weeks, although I'll share a secret with you, it's really going to be 10 weeks. So we start previews October 26th. We open November 11th. We're at the brand newly named Stephen Sondheim Theater. And we've announced 6 weeks, but we're really going to close January 2nd. So if you want to come to New York and you can't do those first 6 weeks, don't tell anyone. I know I can trust everybody here that we are going to actually play 10 weeks. And I'm extremely excited, but I forgot your question. Oh, Pee Wee movie.
Do you have that movie written, or are you writing it?
I have written 2 Pee Wee movies already. And one of them is what I have been told not to refer to as the dark Pee Wee movie. During which time Pee Wee becomes famous as a singer and gets brought out to Hollywood to make musical movies, kind of like Elvis, the Elvis movies, and turns into a monster and is horrible to everybody he knows. It was really just an excuse to write a movie where the second act I got to be horribly hideous to everybody. And then I get redeemed kind of at the end. The second movie, which I love, is based on the Playhouse. It's Pee Wee's Playhouse, the movie, which honestly I feel like I'm the last thing from the 80s that hasn't been remade already. Really? Somebody who I am not at liberty to say their name, I don't think. I wish I could, because it's a really good name. But somebody really important and really powerful in Hollywood came to the show and came backstage and said, wow, a Pee Wee movie. I've got to make a Pee Wee movie. And so we are making a third script that hasn't happened yet. I'm writing it with someone, a guy named Paul Reubens, who's here in the audience. And we just started. We just came up with the idea about 3 weeks ago, and we are starting next week to write this script for, did I mention it was somebody really important and powerful? And a really big movie studio, and so I hope I get to announce it pretty soon, but, and as we all know, could not happen also, but I also wanted to mention to you before I forget, does that answer your question?
Thank you very much.
You are so welcome. I also wanted to mention, since I just named the person who's I'm going to write with, that Damon, where are you? Are you anywhere here? Where? Oh, no one can see you. Somebody came up to me just before the movie started and tapped me on the shoulder, and I looked at them, and they are the actor who played Chip in the BMX of the bike scene. So I haven't seen him since, I haven't seen you since you were like a kid. There he is right there. There's nobody else from the movie that was in the movie here, is there? If there is, yell. No. Well, I want to tell you one other quick thing before we get into another question, which is, over the last number of years, I've been many different places and had people tap me on the shoulder over and over again, and I turn, and it's some person in this movie. And several years ago, I was on the set of, I can't remember which Batman it was. It was the Batman that, I think Arnold Schwarzenegger, was he in the Batman movie? Mr. Freeze, yes. It was that one. And they were filming it at the Pantages Theater in Hollywood, and somebody tapped me on the shoulder and turned around, and the guy said, excuse me, Mr. Reubens, I handed you the big shoes in Big Adventure. And I looked at the guy, and it was the guy. I mean, there's only one person who could say that to me, and it was that guy. It was incredible. I've been thinking for many years that it would be really fun to make a documentary on the making of this movie, because there are so many shocking things that happened during this movie. I hope I can remember some to tell you today, because there are some amazing things that happened. This was an amazing process. This was a $6 million movie that we did in 6 weeks. 6 or 8 weeks. 6 weeks, I believe. It done very, very quickly. And, oh, the other thing I wanted to tell you is that I was at a wedding a couple years ago. A friend of mine was getting married, and he ran up to me when I got there. Oh, I'm sorry, it was at the engagement party, at the party to announce their engagement, and he ran up to me and he said, my mom was in big, my new mother-in-law was in big, from your mouth to your B-E-H-I-N-D. And I don't remember what the joke was. It was something that my dad used to, it's a visual thing that he would do all the time. That's where that dance came from. That's what it is.
Danny Elfman is so, like his score was so important to the film.
Danny Elfman's score. And I'd like everybody to not take anything away from Danny, but you should know that this is almost Nino Rota's score from 8½. If you listen to 8½, and a lot of people know this and a lot of people don't know this, Nino Rota wrote a score, and Tim and I asked Danny to mimic that score because we both loved it. But if you listen to it, it's staggering. Danny, in many places in this movie, has changed enough notes to be legal, to not be sued. And if you listen to the score of 8½, there are 3 pieces: the breakfast making machine, me riding the bike in the park. There are several pieces of music, at least 3, but more than that, that are just almost exact.
But my question is, what's on your iPod?
What's on my iPod? Thousands and thousands of songs. I listen to a lot of R&B mostly, is what I listen to, but I like jazz, I like rock and roll, I like lots of music.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to take a minute. I kind of went like, sort of separates me from other people in some way, and that's kind of what I was trying to figure out. It's like, how do you, with so many people, you know, getting off the bus every day, coming here, and now this movie is 25 years old? I mean, 25 years later, it's way harder, and 25 years ago, our culture didn't revolve around, I want to be famous. Now everyone wants to be famous, so there's even more competition and more people coming in. I guess there's more channels on TV and more movies and more reality-based stuff, but the answer to your question is I have no idea. I really don't. I wish I could. I wish I could tell you like what to do, but I say persevere.